So, yes, you're welcome back. So, I tried to address that issue of the, how to restore love in the relationship, how to restore love in a relationship, and that the what has clearly been done is that we have given a framework that will help to we have given a framework that will help to ensure that on how to act in love in any relationship, and that you can use that framework to assess how well you are doing, and that the party who is interested primarily in seeing love return is the one that should start with a personal assessment of his or her role in the relationship, and try to find out where he or she is missing it. And it takes two to tango, relationship involving two, and it's clear really that it's helpful when the parties understand that it's the problem is not just with one person. And if you can start working on yourself and start using some of those learning points, then you should begin to see, changes. And as you see those changes, you would see the other party reciprocate. If love was, then it's not something that is going to, be restored just like that. Adilo. All right. So, do we have any other contributions or comments? Um, I All right. I know that a comment here. The husband is reconciled with his rib. That's exactly what happens. And if you are reconciled with your rib, you need to understand, who the wife is, and that wife is, she's in your life for your own benefit, as the help that you need. And by the way, if we really look at it, one of the things that is clear is that it is doubtful, and I use that just to give the benefit of the doubt, but I would have loved to use a stronger word. It is doubtful that any man can fulfill his purpose in life without recognizing that he needs the help of a woman, of his wife, and without allowing his wife to play that role in his life. And in order for the wife to play that role, he needs to relate with her in love. He needs to relate with her in love. That's what that relationship entails. That's what it entails. Whether the man likes it or not, or chooses to accept it or not, that's the rate of that relationship that is called marriage. That's how God has intended for the relationship to work. And we can't do anything against that. But, in there is a lot that has been provided for our own benefit. And, it is for our own good if we recognize it and take, proper advantage of it. If we recognize it and take proper advantage of it. All right. I think we still have a few minutes for any additional questions or comments. If you want to add to it, to what we have said, or if you still have any questions, the question and answer portion is still there. The chat is still there for you to make a note or two as you may wish, or to make any other request in line with what we have discussed. For those who may be interested in downloading a copy of the book, you can use the link that is given here on that page if you want an e-copy of the book. Otherwise, the book, you can search for the title also on Amazon. The book is available on Amazon. Like I showed earlier, that's the book, The Man in Love. It's 310 pages, written a couple of years ago, but now in print or as an ebook. Amazon also has it in hardcover. So whichever is your preference, the book is within reach. Whichever is your preference, the book is within reach. All right. Do we have any other contributions, please? Or any other suggestions? Or perhaps, if there are omissions in the book or areas that you would like for the author to explore further, in case there are some aspects that you think we haven't covered. If there are some grounds you believe that we have not covered or covered well enough, we're open to those suggestions. All right. Yes, go ahead.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
One of the very interesting area that I think we should expound a lot. We know what love, what God kind of love is. The
Yeah.
conflict of what God kind of love is not. So we hear sentences that love is not a feeling. Okay, God,
Yes.
the same way that Christ loved the church and he died for the church. Yes,
Yes.
we know that is how the man should love the wife. I would have wanted a bit more, maybe in the conversation.
But there is feeling in that love, though.
Yes,
In the Christ love, there is
yes,
feeling. There is no way to cherish your wife without
without expressing it
having
in the
feeling.
physical.
And one of the ways that you see feeling, the Bible tells us two things. Why will a man weep if he has no feelings? All right. A man who lives by love, who is guided by love, why will he weep if he has no feelings? Jesus wept when he got to the tomb. of Lazarus. The Bible tells us, and Jesus wept. That means he was overwhelmed by
Yeah.
what he felt. All
Yeah.
right, by a dimension of the love, okay, that he felt
Yeah.
for Lazarus
Yeah.
and for the sisters, Mary and Martha. Indeed, for that family. There is a second place where we understood that Jesus was going to enter a city, and he wept because he said these people didn't know the time of their visitation. They didn't know that the one to save them had come. He was overtaken once again, by his emotions. That's why. If you are not overtaken by emotions or by pain, you can weep. He didn't weep because of pain. He wasn't feeling anybody pain. He wept because he was overwhelmed by emotions. So to be sure, and I like the point that you brought up, is this Christ kind of love is not devoid of emotions. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. There is an integral element. That's why you saw that they are compartmentalized. There is to set apart. Now, if you are setting something apart, there is emotion that is involved as well. I mean, imagine if you have a very a precious asset, you can be emotional about it. To
Definitely.
set apart, to sanctify means that this is important. This group are important. My heart is with this group. If you touch them, you touch me. If you touch them, if you toy with them, I will react. It was emotion that made Jesus to take a whip and to clear out people, from the
In the
temple.
temple. Yeah.
He said, the zeal of God has consumed me. Jesus didn't do anything out of love. He was controlled by the spirit of love. He had the same God nature, and the nature of God is the nature of love. We understand God is love. That's why we said, wherever God is missing, wherever love is missing, God is
God is.
missing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
So
Another
there
question.
is that
Okay.
dimension. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just because I wanted to bring onto the forefront some of the languages that we have been known with
Yeah.
love,
To use.
and we
Yeah.
say it all over the whole place. So
Yeah.
how do there's a part of learning, on learning to learn. So there are
Yes.
some mumbo jumbo things that we've had over the years, you understand? And we
Yes.
are not bringing it down. How do we, when we're talking about God kind of love, yeah, especially when we're using the biblical foundation, we have languages like saying, oh, it's only God kind of love, Zoe, Eros, and Philios. Where do those all fit into in the things that you have spoken to us all
I
this morning, son?
again, and this will be my last set of remarks. We have just
Okay, son.
about a minute to go,
Image. All right,
and
like,
I'll just
we can
and
do
I'll
it.
just say thank you to everyone. But I'm going
Yes.
to respond very quickly. Let
Yeah.
let me. I run away from a lot of technicalities. All
Exactly.
right. Reason, because that scripture tells us in Ephesians
Mm-hmm.
5:25,
Okay.
he
Yeah.
said, as Christ loved the church, that's
First
how
question.
husbands should love the wife. That's why that benchmark is clear.
Yeah.
How did Christ love the church? It's clear.
Very.
If you want a clearer definition, Paul gave that definition in
Okay.
1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 to 7.
Yeah.
Anything that is outside of that
Before that one.
is
Yeah.
not love.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anything outside of that is not love.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Once again, thank you very much. See you in April. I will be discussing another book. God bless you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Yes, sir.